all
Mhm.
the things where we probably spend a little too much time in the mirror, spend a little bit too much time thinking about what we're portraying, what people think about us. And when you realize in the end, none of that matters. None of that matters
Yeah.
to people that truly matter. Um, I would argue that anyone that most people want to emulate, be like, or be, um, or that they would want to attract the attention of, none of those people care about that stuff. And the ones who do, you probably shouldn't really be trying to be like them. And so you kind of, my goal now is to let people see behind the screen and the curtain and go, hey, 600 pounds is interesting and everything, but like it's a feature. That's
Yeah.
great. And if you can't do 600, you can do 500. Great. If you can't do that, you can do 400. Great. If you can't do that, it's 300. You kind of get the point. Like, it doesn't
Mm.
matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
trying hard? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you educating
Right.
others and inspiring others around you? Like, that's all we could leave here.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I got to experience it firsthand. My dad was a massive collector of a lot of cool things. He did a ton of amazing things while he was here on earth. But the second he passed, that stuff was no longer his. It was someone else's treasure or problem to deal with. And all of his efforts and all of his lifts and all of his trophies and all of his everything, he couldn't take him with him. And so all that was left behind was the people who he touched, who he inspired, who he loved on. And so when we had his memorial service, I mean, there was 700 people that showed up easily. There was so many people from everywhere, and everyone had stories. And the coolest part, they weren't like he was so strong, he was so rich, or some nonsense. A- Almost everyone was like, "Your dad changed my life in 1971 when he took extra time to blah. In 1983, he took extra time and coached me to blah." And it was hundreds of people saying that. And that fortified in my mind what I'd always kind of seen and felt and tried. But what I realized, the true treasure of what you leave here is what you leave here. And how many
Mhm.
lives can you, I know it sounds cheesy, but like how many lives can you, I know he was there in spirit, and to see hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people who all had stories of how he made their life better. And so that's what I see now as the goal is, obviously the 4 people that live at my house, my wife and my 3 kids, they're my number 1, that's what they call, like, I don't know if you ever heard, like, the 1st row, 2nd row, 3rd row of your funeral. Have you ever heard that kind
Hmm.
of, so
Mm-mm.
that's my 1st row. So they talk about the
Hmm.
1st row at your funeral. You die, 1st row at your funeral, those are the people whose lives will be forever altered by your passing. This is the worst day of their life, and this is crushing to them, and this will be a day that they will always remember, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The row 2 is there to support row 1, and everyone in row 3 and back is probably on their phone. And
Man, that's great.
it's a hard one to swallow, and I
Mhm.
bit crass and a bit whatever, but the reality of it is,
It's true, though. It's true.
right? And then you kinda realize that out of that row 3 and back, 30% of the people are on their phone, and all of them are gonna go to Applebee's after this and get something to eat. And so when you realize, and what I had to realize was, especially owning a business and you have marketing and strategy and all this stuff, how much effort and attentiveness was I putting into the 3rd row and back, trying to grow a brand, trying to do all this other stuff, and how much versus how much effort was I putting into my 1st row.
Mhm.
And that was a shift for me. But then there's also, but that doesn't say that I don't want to invest in row 2 and 3, but because that would be awesome as well. That's a massive impact that you can make around you.
Right.
But I have to remember the most important are the ones that live in my house. So that's some of the wisdom and that have come with that experience the last 2 years. But it's been expensively paid for wisdom.
That's really cool to hear about your father like that, man.